Hello and welcome to another episode of Rugby on 216, brought to you by Thirsty. The three of us are in studio today to complete a task that I think is going to be quite an exciting one, quite a tricky one. We're going to name our 15 of the year. We have 3 players per position, going to whittle it down to 1 per position. Sput Cooks, welcome back to Rugby on 216. How are we feeling ahead of the task ahead of us?
I'll tell you what, Alexander. Hello, first of all. Cooksy, good to see you. That's day 1 of Greek Quizzes Carry Cup champions. So let's just get that out of the way, straight out of that. But, this is a tough task. It sounds like fun. You know, when we first mentioned let's do a team of the year, it sounds like a lot of fun. But in South African schoolboy rugby, it's no mean feat to get to one team. Firstly, we're not selectors. Let's get that out of the way. This is our opinion. And we might even make a positional switch or two to sort of get, in our opinion, the best players in. That's my 5 cents.
Hello, guys. It's good to be back. I mean, I felt like a task like this, I couldn't leave you two in your own devices. So I thought I had to make sure I'm back
from
in
holiday.
studio.
We're not here to pick the Eastern Cape 50. Let's just get that out of the way.
It's not the Sons of the Leopard 15.
So I had to be back. You're very good. Stressful. I think, the conversations that Sput and I have in the car on the way back from Derby days, conversations you have with, parents, supporters, mates, and everyone who loves schoolboy sports have told me who's in their 15 is the best. So it's going to be a tough task to whittle down to one position, but looking forward to it.
And like you've both said, to make it very clear, this is our 15 of the year. It's based on the rugby we've been watching, what we've been covering on Rugby on 216. The 3 of us are making this decision. And to explain how the decision is going to be made, I'm going to tell you the 3 players we've got in each position. We've worked together to get to that. We've got that far. 3 players per position behind the scenes. We managed to achieve that. I'm going to give you the 3. You're each going to pick your player. If it's the same person, then I don't have to do anything. We'll just then we've got a player. If you differ, then you've got to convince me to be the deciding vote. So please try and limit that.
It's amazing how, you say we got to it together. When I was going through that list last week on the Google, I had to extract 2 Southern Suburbs players in every position, just to make sure we get to a mix there.
All right, shall we begin? So in this first bit of the show, we're going to do the forwards, we're going to go literally 1 to 15. So let's start at number 1. Nominations: Kai Pratt of Oakdale, Andre Polton from Jeppe, and Jordan Jooste from Paul Boys.
Sure. Tough start already.
Yeah, it's sort of number 1 might be one of the toughest positions to pick. And it's almost just taking a step back as well and saying who's the unlucky guys, because in the end there's 3. But I mean, if you look at the way the Paul Boys, the high front row, sort of decimated
both front rows,
both have decimated, sides. You almost go, Jesus, is Cruz Davies, Jean van der Merwe, Bernard de Toey, they might not make your top 3 at loosehead and tighthead, but they're very unlucky not to. Getting back to those 3 names, Andre Polton was very successful in his grade 11 and grade 12 years at Jeppe. In between, he had a big injury as well. So the way he came back in 2025 was seriously impressive, Cooksy.
Yeah, I think you look at Andre, I think when he came back, he came with the game against Affis, and the impact he made immediately to Jeppe season and changed their fortunes. They sort of finished stronger. Jordan Jooste, he is phenomenal. For me, the work he does around the park at scrum time, and I think with Kai Pratt, an absolute freak of a 18-year-old school kid, but also just the sheer size and the way he gets around, the way he defends, and also scrum time is phenomenal. He destroyed the packs during the international series as well in the international pack. So it is a tough one for me, but if I had to choose, if I look at all 3, I think Jordan Jooste for me has been the best loosehead prop in the country this year.
I will be very happy if we go Jordan Jooste, and perhaps myself and Cooks will have to concede 1 or 2 in this round. So I'll concede. Let me make it easy for you.
Well,
I'll concede and we go Jordan Jooste.
To be clear, just so it's not a complete cop-out for me, I was siding with Jordan Jooste, and you've conceded. So Jordan Jooste then is our number 1. Let's move right along then. Number 2, Altus Robbie, Paul Roos, Clinton Agu, Noot Hevel, and Keenan Mainos, Otanikwa.
So as good as Agu's been, and we know the skill level of Mainers. To me, Robbie's been a bit of a standout. His line-out throwing, he's working at scrum time in the international series, and his work around the park.
As the season was going, I mean, like we mentioned, yes, I know Paul Boys had the rotation, but Robbie has always felt like a class above the whole year. But I'll tell you why I'll go Clinton Agu as my best hooker this year. Done more with less. If you look at the other two, I mean, I'm not saying they're phenomenal, but there was a stage when Yuri will hit a hump. Yes, I know they've got a wide they stack, but there's a stage where they were Clinton Agu and nothing. And he was the reason they go football. He was the guy doing all the work. The percentages can't do anything if Agu is not getting them the one ball. So I look at some of the games that it feels like he's single-handedly won, for New York, like the game against Monash, where he's standing like he is by far the best player on this pitch.
Yeah.
And I thought it was phenomenal again at Craven Week. So for me, what Clinton Agu has done the whole year is, again, done more with less. And not saying that beautiful, but he's, for me, like even at Northside, he was phenomenal again.
Yeah.
So so for me, I watched him. He's my best hooker of the year.
So I'm not going to concede.
No,
Because I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. He's done more with less. Noordhoven and Paul Roos basically both lost the same amount of games. Paul Roos didn't have a great season. They lost 5 times.
I'll make it easy because this one you don't need to convince me. Altus Robbie, Western Province Craven Week, SA, signed with the Stormers, and there's a reason for that. And
It's the first time this year that I like your Western Cape
But Clinton
bias.
Agu also played for.
I've gone 1-1.
He also played Craven Week. He also played for SA.
I've got 1-1.
He's going to be great for our team from the bench. He's going to be brilliant.
I've gone 1-1. I've gone 1-1. Not saying it's intentionally that I've gone 1-1.
It's
but so far.
the reason is he played SS schools and he played for. What was Clinton Agu was also there?
Yeah, but listen, I'm not for 1 minute disputing the fact that Clinton Agu was phenomenal. It's just, to me, once you get to that international level, and that's where some of these guys that we're going to pick today didn't get to that level.
Yeah.
They didn't play in the SA under 18 series.
Yeah.
But they both did. And I just feel that's where, Robbie comes in with that edge.
Hopefully, can you guys just agree on one? So this is. I was coming in thinking maybe I'd have to do two.
We spent a year debating each other. We're not going to all of a sudden agree.
Fair enough. Then we're going to move over then to number 3, and this one, neither Spit nor I are particularly neutral here in terms of our backgrounds. Matt van der Merwe, Rondebosch, Luan van der Berg, Garsfontein, Yagia Badenhorst, Grey College.
2 things stand out. Van der Merwe was 3 things stand out. Van der Merwe was very consistent right throughout the year. You could see early on he's a class act. Pedigree-wise, and probably the way he came back after sustaining a knee injury in that SDC Noordwal final, Luan van der Berg, Proppie, might be the class act. And is probably, in all fairness, the guy with the pedigree, and he's a class act, and he's proven it over and over again. In comes Yagia Badenhorst, who would have been in the SA under 18A side, steps up into that void in the SA under 18 side, and probably one of the players of the series. He was phenomenal. His ball carrying and scrum work against the English, the French, you name them,
Brilliant.
was absolutely brilliant. So once again, who do you go for? In consistency over 2 years, in pedigree, but not just pedigree, proving it time and time again, after having his challenges at scrum time against the Kai Pratt, when Garsfontein and Oakdale drew, I'd probably have to stick with a logical choice in Luan van der Berg, but it's flipping close.
I'm on Sport. It's very hard for me to go against Proppies. I think he would have played the SA 18 side if he wasn't injured, and I think he would have been phenomenal as well. So if I had to pick out of all 3 of them, he said pick a tight end, I go with Proppie van der Berg.
Oh, thank goodness.
With both of the other guys alongside
there.
Van der Merwe
Right
and the
there.
2 from Boys are right there. We well stocked in the front row at an 18 level. This proves it.
The depth is incredible, and that's what makes this all particularly challenging. All right, then we get into the locks. Gershom Peters, Paul Boys, Dion Augustine, Oakdale, Wandile Mlaba, Westville.
Sure. It is a tough one because it's tough of level 40. Like Goshen Peters is someone who also didn't get much of the headlines, and
Phenomenal player.
I just love watching the way he goes to work. I mean, he is an absolute tyrant. Dejan Augustine, if you want the perfect number, well, the size,
Yeah.
I mean, the sheer, I mean, like he makes, I feel small when I stand next to him. But again, like with Dejan Augustine is also the work he does around the park, which is very, very much underrated. But then for me, and my choice in Laba is that, yes, he may not be the size of Dejan Augustine, but then in the worker of Goshen Peters, but he's almost a hybrid of the two.
Yeah.
And Mlaba had a fantastic season for a very good Westville side that we know the CIAs get the praise, the Simpkins and the Afrikaners, but it's got to start somewhere in the engine room. And Mlaba, him and Ayamea was fantastic together when they played together in the international side. So it's very hard for me not to go for Mlaba.
I'm happy.
Oh, thank goodness.
I'm happy, and I'll tell you why I'm happy, but I also want to give a shout out to another couple of locks, not necessarily For's Leon Blanche.
Yeah.
Fantastic player, Northwood. Was really good. I like him, Lava, and I like the choice of him, and I like the combination because I'll tell you straightforward, the next option, although there is still brilliant players in it, the next position we're going to choose will be Oyamea. He will be the number 5 lock, and I like that combination.
So we get to the number 5 lock. Oyamea, Grey College, Jaden Jabber, Paul Boys, Michi Turner, Paul Gim. Obviously, you're going with Oyamea. You're agreeing, Cooks?
So I'm going with Oyamea. And taking away nothing from the other two candidates who were fantastic. I love seeing the work that Michi Turner had at for the 18A side. I mean, running the line, it's an impressive skill he has. But I do think that Oyamea, since he got back from the injury, the game missed him in the way, but when he came back, just a different grade, a different class. And like when you watch him play, it just makes the game seem kind of easy and dominating games in line-out time with ball carrying. So it's very hard not to go for Oyamea.
Just a word on Jaden Jabber. Phenomenal. Only Oyamea can keep Jaden Jabber out of a side. Jabber will be equally adept at playing 7.
Play a bit of 4 as well.
He can play 4 as well because he's a brute. He's a wrestler, remember? He grew up in Kempton Park, him and his twin brother Tristan, and they wrestled from a young age. So he's a very, very strong guy. And he was another phenom in that inter-schools and a phenom in the Paul Boys I pack. And like I say, both him and Michi Turner, just unlucky to be 5s in our
the same
options
year as Oyamea.
Twice SA under 18 Oyamea, just a lineup expert, and then gets over the park as well.
And I believe another one who's making the trip down to the Western Cape next year. So that will be exciting to see. Then we get to the flanks. Number 6, Luan Potgieter, Affies, Janedo Amadi, King Edward School, and then Jacobus de Villiers, Oakdale.
Is this the one position, Cooksey, where, we're really not sure? Because
the wing forwards.
You go, who is the best 6s?
Because the interesting thing is, like I put the tough part in this position, because Luan's, he's played 6 the whole year, and he's phenomenal at what he does. I mean, he's the number of steals he gets per game, and with Chinedu and with the Villiers is that they've done jobs there, and especially they've done jobs and done it at an international series and started games there. And for me, I am not picking a loose forward trio that does not have Jacobus de Villiers in. So that's why he's my pick. And I think for me, what he did in the international series and the work he's done, obviously, I know he's played most of 8, but he is good over the ball. He's a phenomenal ball carrier. This is the guy, in that Craven final, for me, was the best player on the field. Because it's video and that he was the best player on the field with the likes of the Marcus Moses. He stood out in SVD, obviously pushed Western Province in, but like, we'll say he's in grade 11, but I have him at 6.
You make a very good point, but yet in the same argument, you're saying you'd look at a guy that's played there the whole year. So that brings Potgieter almost as the only option in. So I am very happy to go to Villiers if we then tell each other we're trying to get the best players on the park. You know what I'm saying? We're trying to get the best players on the park.
It's the best 6.
Because de Villiers gets into your best loose trio in South Africa every day of the week.
Then Jacobus de Villiers, done. 6.
Thank you.
7, the nominations are Josh Neal Rondebosch, Henry van Zyl, Paul Gim, and Wasibe Ambuera, Maritzburg College.
This is an interesting one, Alexander. This is an interesting one because we answered ourselves at number 6. We say we want to get the best players
Best player from the year.
on the part.
Doesn't matter where they're going next.
So I'd say what's interesting. I think Josh is the best player of all 3 of them. I don't think he had a better year in terms of a season as, you look at Wasi, you look at, I don't any of Van Zyl, but for me, Josh is a fantastic rugby player, and you saw that in Craven Ukraine led. But if I look at the season from start to whole in terms of like who had the best season at blindside flank for me, it's hard not to go for Wasi. I mean, Vayambera was, even the game he played, he was fantastic.
The thing is, I must either agree with you, because if I leave it up,
Henry van Zyl.
if I leave it up to him, it's not going to be Viambuera or Van Zyl that gets picked. Look, I tend to agree with you, but I do think there's reasons for it. I do think Josh Neal, and I mentioned that, was there's debates on how he was used during the season. I felt he was underutilized as a carrier in schoolboy rugby this year because he is a very good carrier. He was underutilized because he's so good in the lineouts, and he was the main source of Bosch's lineout ball. So then he sort of the plan for him was sort of to get into the lineout, get into the air, get the ball, get back into the trams, waiting for the ball to come back. When it does come back, he becomes a carrier again. And that's just structure. That's just how the guys play.
Yeah.
Some play 1-1-3-3. Some play 2. So that's just part of the structure. This is going to cause some serious debate out there. This is going to be, but I'm going to go with you. I'm going to go Wasi Viambuera as 7. Notwithstanding the fact that Josh Neal will be a rugby superstar. Probably then in a different green jersey than we would have hoped for. But he's going to be a rugby superstar. Will Viambuera be a rugby superstar?
Yes, he will.
Only time will tell, but he was definitely
I believe in Viambuera.
he was definitely a superstar this year. So
was phenomenal
I'll
this
be
year.
happy to go
I'm just
with him.
glad you've made me not have to make that choice. So thank you very much.
It's one that I'm. This has been the toughest one so far.
Well, then maybe it's an easy one to end. No, I don't think so. Number 8, let's wrap it up quickly. Gert Kemp, Paul Roos, Quinton Potgieter, Paul Gim, and Steph McDonald Affies. Do you have a name?
I think when you go into Craven Week, I felt like Steph McDonald had the slight edge. I felt like he just been so consistent, but it's tough because McDonald finished the year phenomenally, and I think what hurt some of the Bulls players, the Bulls never could Craven to their standards. The Bulls and a lot of the guys, sort of their stock sort of was hit a little bit. You mentioned Potgieter, but now like you get someone like Steph McDonald. Gert Kemp was sort of great Craven again. Obviously, international series got a few man of the matches, but for me, from start to finish, is probably Quinton Potgieter. And hit the ground running at Northside. I mean, Paul King at high school had a full wrath of that, and then but also just sort of continued the momentum. Then sort of had a good season. Went into the international series and just sort of went up another gear. So for me, if I look at the season as a whole, I'm going to go with Quinton Potgieter.
After the break, we have 7 more players to pick, and that, of course, is the backline. And we have chosen 1 through 8. We'll see you in a bit.
You call me boxer. Gewis? Anna? Maar waar is die Anna? Wow! Wow! Exemos! Wow! Bring vir my die box. Okay, so.
The Courier Guy, the courier behind the box.
Can you deliver something for me?
Where to?
Hy wys vir my. Hy wys vir my. Put this one in the Springs box.
Sure. Sure. You sure? Sure. Sure. Sure.
Yeah, man, you sure?
Yes, I am sure. Look at this thing. It's presidential. What if we get caught, man? Nobody gets caught in South Africa, man.
That's true.
Now lift. I'm sure.
Don't just be sure. Be sure. King Price in sure. Insurance you can be sure about. Visit kingprice.co.za.
Welcome back to Rugby on 216, brought to you by Thirsty. Today on the show, we're picking our ultimate 15 for the year, our best player in each of the positions from 1 to 15. We've done 1 through 8, so we're now going to get into the backline, starting with number 9 in the nominations. We've managed to put together 3 nominations per position beforehand. Now it's just a matter of narrowing it down to 1. Morne Noble, Weinberg, Liam Simpkins, Westville, Jaden Brits, Boylan Landbou.
Yes, all 3 were phenomenal. I love the Liam Simpkins shout. I mean, I thought, very underrated this year, but very good. Obviously, must start on
Led Westville to an unbeaten season.
Yeah. But for me, it's Jaden Britt. He's class above.
100%. Best scrum off in South Africa. Morne Noble was good. Liam Simpkins, fantastic. You had a show and base at Great College. You had Derek Keane at Garsfontein. You had plenty. But class act. Class act, Jaden Brits.
Absolutely, and I especially love when we saw the SA teams play at Boylan Landbou, how his school was there out supporting him. He had a lot of love from Boylan Landbou, and that's one I can agree with. I also like that Liam Simpkins is in there because I chatted to him, met him at Westville when they played DHS, and the kind of leader he was with the team, very special character. And obviously Morne Noble scored a quick penalty to beat Rondebosch in that first encounter, so there's that.
So he was disqualified.
Number 10 then. I think this might be a struggle.
No, it's an easy
I don't know. Is it easy? Okay.
No,
Darius Avia, Grey College, Liamanella, Hilton, Ruben Groenewald, Affies. Worth mentioning that Darius Avia wasn't one of the 4 fly halves picked for those SA. I think there were about 4 involved, or 3, 4 fly halves.
3 fly halves, Viljoen backed up at fly half as well.
So there were about 4 fly halves in those 2 SA squads. Darius Avia was not one of them, but he is in our 3 today.
No bias. No bias here. Best schoolboy fly half in South Africa this year, Darius Avia.
And that's coming from someone who at the start of the year was a bit underwhelmed with him.
Yeah. Started in Great College's second side. Nella was fantastic. Groenewald was Affies' general. Polruis helped me out. Grade 11 fly off. Got a red card against Travis Pfeiffer. Fantastic fly off. Darius Avia proved week in, week out, and at Craven Week that fairy tales do exist. A kid from Webstad started the year doubtful whether he'll play at 12 or at 10. Would he play Cherries at Great College? Would he play first side? Ends the year with a contract at the Cheetahs. Finishes his matric year training with the Cheetahs for 2 weeks before the semi-final. To me, he's my pick at 10.
I don't want to go against Putti, but for me, I think the choices between Nella and Groenewald, I mean, it's hard to leave out the fact that Doris didn't start the year playing first side. I mean, that has to be thrown out there if we're talking about the best guys and like the best fly halves in the country. I mean, you look at Groenewald, I think for Affies was fantastic. Probably didn't have his best Craven Week, and international series, he was decent. I thought he saw his boots and I went away. So I think they're pretty frustrated. But you look at Nela, I mean, the work he did for Hilton, I mean, he was phenomenal. I mean, from the Easter festivals, there's more clips of Nela on TikTok and probably like the videos I make produce. So, and then had a good K1 week and then found themselves in the starting number 10 jersey for the SN 18 side, and school side. So if I look at consistency in terms of the entire year from the start of the season, Craven week, and then obviously international series and end, for me, it's got to be Liam and Nela.
So here's a debate on Alexander.
You lied to me, Spurt. You said it was easy.
You're gonna have to come in. Yeah, it is easy. So you'll make the right choice. Man.
Oh, wow.
We talk about consistency.
Yes.
Let me throw this out to you. Darius Albi is a fantastic attacking threat, but he's also a big boy. All right, but he's a great attacking threat. Puts people into space. His little chip and chase that he does himself has become synonymous with him. His first 34 kicks at goal for the Grey College first side, didn't miss one. That's rather consistent. So he adds that value as well, as does Ruben Groenewald, by the way, fantastic goal kicker. And Liam Manela proved during the international series that he can kick with the best. So it is 3 very good fly-offs. My pick, Darius Arvia, his pick, Liam Manela. You're the judge.
From what I've watched this year, from what I've heard from both of you guys, I think if I wanted to be sure that I was going to win the game if it was close, I would have Darius Avia on the field. And for me, they're so close. You guys have picked different ones, which is because they're so close. I have to pick on some basis. And so on that basis, Darius Avia, Grey College. And I can't believe I'm picking someone from Grey College willingly, but that is what has happened.
It's a good choice.
And my dad went to Hilton, so I'm still like, it's not going to be fun at home.
It is a good choice, and I know Cooksey knows it's a good choice. But as with every position, I wanna look into the camera when I say this. These guys are all good.
They're all extraordinary.
They
yes.
are all extraordinary, and for a good reason. Nela Groenewald did play for South Africa.
You get another 3 people around the table.
But we're not. Yeah, they're going to make another.
They're going to make other choices.
But we're not picking our SA Schools team.
Okay. Do we want to? Let's do the centres next. Please, Shirley, just this. Don't make me choose, please. I hope you don't. Let's go inside centre. Ethan Adams, the Tank, Grey College. Ozzy Foster, Oakdale. Yakin Ahmed, Weinberg.
So the problem is here, you face here, is the only games that the Tank played. He played the 2 games at 12, or the 3 games at 12. One is he came off the bench of the international series, but then he's played 13 all season long. And it's the same case you're doing, say, with the de Villiers, is of trying to put the best players.
He's a better 12 than he is a 13.
No, but the thing, but this year, like the 2, Yakin Ahmed and Ozzy Foster have been phenomenal at 12. Have played 12 the whole year. And I think probably it's different to the Luan Porky case because they both, well, Yakin is obviously 19 this year, but like Fozzy did make the SN 18 side and was good. So if you're looking for me, who's been the best 12 this year, I'm going with Ozzy Foster in my side to play in at 12. I think he's been the most consistent. And I know I want the Tank in my side. I'd love the Tank in my side, but it's hard for me to go against the guy who's played 12 in most of the games and made the SN 18 side.
Agreed. I love Ozzy Foster. I've loved him since the first time I saw him play. I just want to make it clear that I do believe Ethan Adams is a schoolboy prodigy. Not because he runs over players. Because he runs over players, but has silky skills to back that up. And you saw that when him and Marcus started finding each other and combining. As you rightfully said, he hardly played 12 all season. And then he had to do it at an international level. And sort of against England in that last game, you could see he started to understand his role at 12. And also the players around him started to understand what they need him to do for them. My 12 is Ozzy Foster with Cooksey on that. And that'll mean that Ethan Adams doesn't get into our starting lineup because Marcus Miller is and will be our 13, which you can write down now. You can give us the nominations afterwards, but it'll be Foster and Miller then as a centre pairing with the understanding, hopefully, of everybody watching that had Adams started the season at 12,
At 12, yes.
and played the whole season at 12, because I do believe that's where he will become a professional rugby
Yes.
player, is at 12.
It's just he didn't play there enough this year
Yes.
to be the best 12.
So De Villiers played a bit at 6, you know, and that guy played a bit.
And I think, and the problem is the hard part is like you look at someone like, say, like not just like, take anything away from Ron Booker at 6, for example. We say didn't have the best of Craven weeks, so like someone like De Villiers, and then he played made the SA, the two SA and 18 stars, where where it's like someone like Fozzie had this as a 12, made the side as well, did well in the nationals, and had a phenomenal Craven week as well, where he outplayed Marcus Miller. When Marcus Miller moved for 12, Fozzie was a better player on the day.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where it's like it's very hard to go against. I mean, the tank is, you said, is absolute prodigy. So I mean, he's a freak.
So let me put it to you this way: Ethan Adams, in the year after school, next year, will play for the Lions under 21s at least, and probably will get a senior cap or 2 in his first year after school. He's not going to get into our side, and I'm not making a point for him to get into our side because he can't as a 12 and as a 13 Miller is there. But he's gonna become a professional rugby player as a 12. Thing is, he's so good, he can probably become a professional rugby player as a 6 or a 2 as well. But he's Ozzy Foster happy. Let's not over debate it, and then put Marcus Miller, that guy there on the photo.
I've put
as
Marcus
13.
as outside centre. We've chosen Marcus Miller from Paul Gim, but Aaron Nelson from Graham and Lindelani Kambutle from Jeppy. Also
Great
two
players.
honourable mentions.
I'll tell you what, this 13 and fullback this year has probably been the best the country's had in a very, very long time, because you still got the likes of Nathan Aneke who's not in there. There's guys like that, I mean, who are in there, and you've still got the tank at 13, Marcus Miller. It's taken a generational play, it seems like, in the Marcus Miller, and guys who don't come around often. I mean, a freak. I mean, he's scored 50 tries in two seasons for Parkham. He's got 50 points, over 40 points in a game where he scored like five tries.
But his most magical thing is it's that 50-plus tries, but just in this year, he's also had 50 try assists.
Yeah.
And that's the thing.
That's the thing. So it's like it's taken an absolute freak of a season. What Marcus has done this year is not normal.
No.
And I mean, never mind the goal kicking, but you can't take away from the likes of the other nominees who've also been great. But it's just a freak has come in and an unreal season that doesn't come around often. The reason why Marcus Miller's in there.
This year, Paul Gim scored 79 tries. Marcus Miller scored 35 of them.
Yeah.
Which is 44% of all Paul Gim tries this year. And
it's
on
phenomenal.
top of being captain, leading the team.
Yeah.
That's what guys do. That's what guys do in primary school. The best players. Like, I mean, like it's not like he's juniors against some of the best schools in the country.
Yeah.
35 tries in what 12 weeks. That's ridiculous.
It's amazing. And great centre pairing. 2025 was the year of generational players. Ethan and backline players.
Yeah.
Ethan Adams, Marcus Miller, Zikatelo Siya. Generational.
Should I just tick off Zikatelo?
Yeah, you can tick him off at 15.
You might as well, yeah.
Can I
around the bush?
Okay, well, let's go there next then before we do the wings, I guess. 15, Zekatelo Siaya, Westville, Reynard Fullion, Oakdale, Lamlam Gadezi, Grey College, but Zekatelo.
Well, you look there again, I mentioned like 13 and 15. I mean, Reynard Fullion will probably make the side any other year.
Ronald Fullion, any other year will make the world school side.
Yeah, Lamlam Gadezi, the same.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Zekatelo Siaya, I mean, kick, pass, run, pace, goal. I mean, you could defend, kicks for balls, kicks with the left foot. You kick the ball to me and see whatever you need. Again, like you said, generational players at fullback, guys doing freakish things that just doesn't seem normal. Seems like it's gliding at a stage. So it's hard to go past against Zekatelo Siaya at 15.
Is it going to, you speak about generational and about kicking. Look, I've seen Lamlam Gadezi do things that I've never seen anybody do, yet quite comfortably Siaya gets in ahead of him.
And that just shows
it just shows
the class
and I think and here's the thing, and I hope Siaya got all the praises for his tries and stuff that he scored, but because of how polished he is, because of how... Have you seen those 50-20?
Yeah.
He kicks the ball like a mule. You know, he's got a massive boot, and then he can do it with the left boot. And I hope guys like Lamlam Gedezi can take a leaf out of that book, you know, and say, all right, I'm more skillful. Probably, I back Lamlam Gedezi in a one-on-one skills challenge here in small spaces to be as good as Siaya, if not better. But can he turn himself into the complete package by getting the kicks right, getting the timing right, and the know-how of when to kick, when to run it?
Yeah.
You know, he's an inspiration, Tekitelo Siaya.
And at 15 is where we have him. Then we just have to do our wings quickly to end off. And we'll start with left wing. Jordan Steenkamp, Paul Roos, Jaden Afrikaner Westville, and Ntutu Kepe from Queen's College.
Jordan Steenkamp. For me,
Jaden
Afrikaner, fantastic rugby player. Jordan Steenkamp at the start of the season scored 2 hat-tricks in his first 2 games, was on fire, then got injured. You know, came back later on in the season, missed out on Craven Week. For me, he would have been a shoo-in for the SA school side had he stayed injury-free. Big, powerful, fast. Afrikaner ticks 2 of those boxes. Well,
but
he's got other qualities.
Obviously, Jaden Steenkamp is like his build is incredible, but like in Africa, not as big, but I mean, incredible feet, best finisher in the country.
Think so?
I think Afrikaner is
Best
best finisher in the country. Yeah.
Okay. I'm willing to go with you.
Alex has got to make a decision.
Yeah. What I'm trying to get at, Cooksey, is for me it's important.
He'd rather have me pick than you agree.
Put
me through the mental stress and trauma.
And thinking about what Cooks is saying is yes, you're right. I don't have to agree. We don't have, because I don't. Because we know the worth of an Afrikaner. We saw the worth. We saw his finishing. We did not get to see the very best at the international, level or Craven Week of Jordan Steenkamp. But what we saw at the start at Noord State, what we saw against Grey High, what we saw told me this guy is the complete package. It never hurts to be big in rugby. It never hurts to be powerful. Unless you're giving up one of your core strengths as a winger in pace. And he doesn't give up any pace. He's as quick as anybody around. So to me, that extra height under the high ball worth gold at wing, power and finishing ability. My 11 is Jordan Steenkamp.
Is it perhaps another one of these situations we had earlier on where he is the better player, but maybe didn't have all round the better year?
Well, that's for you to decide.
That's for me to decide.
Injuries.
Injuries.
And that's obviously not his fault, but that does affect this year. Who was the best left wing at the end of the day? And on that, I brought it up. I was asking the question, but that's the way I'm leaning. So I'm going to say Jaden Afrikaner. Right wing, Junaid Stewart, Gasfontein, Tebiso Simelane, St Albans, and Tian Besson, Paul Roos.
Very honourable mention, very, very honourable mention to both Basson and Simelane, but no, Junaid Stewart, the best right wing in South Africa, 2 years running, tore up the SDC Noordwal final, tore up the international series. For me, Cooks, it always amazes me what he does in that little amount of space, because he's not the biggest oak in the world. He's quite skinny, but he's tough. And, it's all in the hips, He's got those.
No, it's all in the hips with him. I mean, he's phenomenal. But, Simelane from St Albans had an incredible Craven Week finding themselves in the SMX. Tian Basson, for me, a grade 11 kid. Played a lot of his rugby in a 16 or 13. What I'm saying is he's phenomenal. Went through quite quiet, but had a good break. Came in late in the Craven Week. Absolutely tore it up on the last day. him and Lamla are going to be the two best backs next year in the country. Jamazoni is very, very, very special.
He's a
Not a lot being said about him, but like everyone's talking about Lamla next year, like he's going to get 11. I'm telling you, 10 Basso next year is going to be an absolute phenom.
and he's tough.
Tough.
He's tough. He's strong.
Strong, bro. Yes, but also he can play.
I like him, but imagine that back three, Afrikaner, Stewart, Siyaya. If you're playing against our side, right, you'll have to have a very, very good 10 kicking in between
In the
those
gaps,
guys, you
yeah.
know?
Yeah.
That's where playing against us, Ruben Groenewald, might come in to just try and get those pockets, because he's a very good kicker out of hand. But
Well, guys,
we've got a 15.
somehow we managed to get there. Let's go then through the 15 just to name it. And obviously this is the Rugby on 2 and 6 15. It's picked by just the three of us. No one else has been involved. And we've gone with Jordan Jooste, Altus Robbie, Luan van der Berg, Wandile Mlaba, Aya Meyer, Jacobus de Villiers, Wasi Veyambuera, Quinton Potgieter, Jaden Brits, Darius Avia, Jaden Afrikaner, Ozzy Foster, Marcus Miller, Junaid Stewart, Zekatelo Siyaya. That is our ultimate 15 for 2025, picked by us. We still have to do the Rugby on 2 and 6 awards, where we're going to pick players for a couple awards. We're going to nominate next week, then we'll pick the week after. We're also going to nominate a couple players for our Thirsty Machine of the Year, which you'll then get to vote on.
And what you hear for the first time here now is on social media, we'll do 16 to 23.
There you have it. 16 to 23. You can, if you think anybody in here should have been in the 15, which you almost certainly will, then yeah, we'll do our 16 to 23 on social media as well. We're going to take a quick break now. When we come back on Rugby on 2 and 6, Sput is catching up with some of the players and some of the fans, and he's taking a couple of kids around at the Currie Cup final at Emirates Airline Park. See you in a bit.
We were lost for 3 days. I told him to ration the water, but he somehow went and drank every last drop in the first hour. I have a family.
We urge the public to remain calm. There is no leak. However, we have identified a thirsty individual who's responsible for this water crisis in the Western Cape.
He almost left Brackenfell for Waterkloof just because of the name. Almost.
Jason, is this true?
Yeah, that's true. I am thirsty.
Some things you don't choose. They choose you. A name, a history, a legacy that came long before you and will last long after you're gone. It's not just about the game. It's the moments that shape you. The early mornings, the long bus rides, the chants that never fade. The friendships, the rivalries, the feeling of being part of something bigger. It's a belonging, something you carry with you wherever you go. Because once you're a part of it, you always will be.
Welcome back to Rugby on 2 and 6, brought to you by Thirsty. If you were with us before the break, you would have seen us pick our ultimate 15 of the year. And we've done a quick venue change. It's something that you're going to be seeing over the next couple of shows on Rugby on 2 and 6. We're at St. Stithians. We're sitting on Baytops Field. We're showing some love to the schools that are going to be hosting Easter festivals next year. And we're starting with St. Stithians, which is actually where we were for the Easter festivals this year. We've already shot a show on this Baytops Field.
You know what's nice about Baytop as well is that it's been approved as the venue for all the touring sides coming in. URC and Test Rugby.
Yep.
So this field will see a lot of action. And what a field it is. Cooks, I remember earlier this year, King Price Derby Series, Saints versus St. John's. What a game that was. And, you could see the change in St. Stadium's rugby program, I know Lawrence Christie's is put in a lot of hard work, and a lot of schools are putting in a lot of hard work, but you can definitely imagine this Bay top being packed in 2026. Hopefully another King Price Derby Series visit.
Yeah, very excited to be back here next year. The festivals was fantastic, packed as always. The highlight of the year in the King Price Derby Series probably puts at the after party at higher ground. Am I right, Spooty?
What a venue it is, You don't have to go far after you've done working. But I'm looking forward to sort of the progression, and Saints, always puts up an amazing Easter festival. It's probably the busiest Easter festival and the widest variety of sports as well. Looking forward to it.
What a cool model that is, higher ground. I think other schools need to get their old boys unions to come together. I'm thinking of Rondebosch. We need a little restaurant there next to the Tinky Haynes.
But the Eastern Cape schools are fond of it.
Yeah.
Cooksey. St Andrews there in Grahamstown, right on the school grounds as well. A lovely little
So it's
restaurant.
just the Western Cape that needs to catch a wake up and
Definitely.
Okay, right.
Definitely.
There, I see how it is. Split this weekend. You were at the Currie Cup final, an enthralling one. Won again in the last minute. The Lions defeated again by a last minute penalty. Not even a last minute penalty, an extra in the red penalty.
Yeah, but this time it was doubly cruel. They thought they'd won it. They won the penalty. They started celebrating, as did the crowd, and then rightfully so, the TMO brought them back for a bit of a brain fade or a moment of madness. Thomas Bursey had the ball in his hands. It got slapped out of his hands. You can't do that, with the number 9. And George Whitehead, was he ever going to miss? You need to give George Whitehead a tougher assignment than a 40-meter kick sort of in front of the post for him not to have slotted it.
And Split, you have quite a special story about George.
Yeah, Alex, I do, and Cooksey, it's almost difficult not to get emotional while telling the story. I've known George since his junior days at high school. He played a lot of sport with my younger brother, both rugby and cricket. George was a very good cricket player as well. He played 3 years of first-team cricket for Grey College as a wicket-keeper batsman. Got to know his dad in that time as well, George Senior, who's actually was a minister in Bloemfontein, and I don't know how many people know, but earlier this year, on the 30th of April, during the Absa Villa Clava tournament in Kimberley, George's father passed away. And George this year was also the assistant coach to the Diamantveld High School first team. And Diamantveld, of course, hosts and plays in that Absa Villa Clava tournament. Georgie shared the news with me that morning, and we shared a chat. And I said, good luck for the drive back to Bloem. And he said, well, Diamantveld is playing a bit later today. I will stay for that game and then leave back to Bloem after that, which I thought was really, just showed his character and obviously what it means for him to be involved at Diamantveld. He did go back to Bloemfontein later that day, and yesterday or Saturday, the 20th of September, when he kicked that winning penalty, that would have been his dad's birthday. So it's his first birthday since he's left, and I thought it was an absolutely amazing moment. Sometimes the stars just align. And I remember my wife teaching JJ one day after Polcham beat Grey College, and he was very sad. And her words came back to me last night when driving back to the hotel. Sometimes on a rugby field, somebody in the opposition side just needs it more. And I wish somebody could tell that to the Lions players on Saturday evening when they were obviously distraught. Let's just share with them that story, that today George Whitehead needed it more perhaps than any player on this field. And I also think it's justification for a very underrated career. He's a 36-year-old player. He was perhaps one of the best players in the Currie Cup this year, but perhaps he was also last year. So I think it's justification for a union that's putting in a lot of hard work, and for a player that might not have reaped the rewards during his rugby career that he deserved. He spent a long time with Cooks at the Kings as well, and it's a special evening, and I certainly drove home with a smile on my face, and also just thinking, about what had gone before.
So on his dad's birthday, he kicked the goal to win the Currie Cup for the first time for the Griquas in 55 years.
It boggles the mind sometimes just how the stars align. We saw it in schoolboy rugby a couple of years ago when JP beat Grey College after the school suffering a similar tragedy 2 weeks before that. And, George Senior, he was a minister in Bloemfontein. If ever there is a moment where you say he was smiling on his son from up above, and I think that was yesterday, or that was Saturday.
But then you did also get up to some fun at the Currie Cup. You chatted to some of the players. You also took some of our youngsters that we followed on Rugby on 2 and 6 throughout the year to try their hand at interviewing. And let's see what Spud and his team got up to at the Currie Cup final.
The youth is taking over the Currie Cup final for 2025, and we're here at the Southern Sun Hotel in Hyde Park with the Griquas team bus ready to take them to venue. They're playing the Lions in this year's Currie Cup final in about 2 hours from now. And I'm joined by two men here who is part of that youth taking over the Currie Cup. Lindelani Kambuhle, centre of JP High School for Boys this year, and Chinedu Amadi, 8th man of King Edward VII. Lindelani, of course, has the bragging rights. 2 victories for JP over Kes this year. King Edward VII, we have to say. Chinedu, excited to go to the final and have a chat with Mzwaki and Kosi and co.
Yeah, I'm very excited to watch the final. The Currie Cup, it's a very exciting games to take place there, and just excited to just feel the environment there and see the guys.
And Lindelani, you're going to be chatting to Coach Vian de Prier, the scrum coach of Griquas, in a little while upstairs here in the Southern Sun. Excited for the day ahead?
Yeah, so I'm really excited for the day ahead. I think, it's going to be a very tough competition ahead of us, and I feel like, in my personal opinion, Lions is going to win.
I was going to go get there because, both of you obviously should be supporting the Lions. You're going to play your junior rugby for the Lions. Chinedu, we won't mention that you'll be going across the Yixkay River, although we did mention it, but you guys should be fully behind the Lions today.
Yeah, actually I am backing the Griquas because, next year the Lions are going to be my derby, so backing the Griquas.
Okay, so that makes 2 of us. I'm in the Griquas corner as well. Lindelani, what will win it for the Lions today?
I don't know. They should just come out to the park and play. That's all I have to say. Come out to the park and just put your skills to the test, and that's why I say they're going to win. I feel like Lions are just, the team for the day.
Chinedu, we're going to a Currie Cup final. We're going to be in the stands. We're going to be chatting to some people. But surely in 3 or 4 years from now, the dream is for you to run out in a Currie Cup final.
Yes, I'm playing professional rugby, and playing in such a high-stake game has been one of my biggest dreams forever. And I'm just excited for the journey ahead of me. And hopefully in the next few years, I'll be playing in the Currie Cup final myself.
So there you have it from the 2 men who's going to take that Currie Cup final by storm. Lindelani is going to chat to Coach Vian de Prier in a few minutes from now. Hopefully we'll have Chinedu chatting to Mzwaki and Kosi, the Lions coach, when we get to venue. But we're going to take you behind the scenes in the Currie Cup final with these 2 gentlemen taking the show over.
Hello, we're here with Vian de Prier, the Griquas scrum coach. So I want to know how you feel about today's game, and it's 2 hours from kickoff. How do you feel now?
Yeah, obviously it's a big match today, the final, what the guys have been working for. The morning was relaxed so far, but you can feel the tensions are building a little bit up now. In less than an hour we get onto the bus and then we go to the stadium, and then it's go time. Then the nerves and the excitement will be running high.
Yes, sir. So I want to ask you a question, how is it the transition for schoolboy rugby and what you call senior rugby, the transition, because you're a Grey College scrum coach and you're what you call Griquas scrum coach. What's the transitions like, the similarities they share?
Yeah, it's just the level of coaching that you apply to the different teams. At school, at Grey, you have rugby players there that loves to play rugby. But you the fact of the matter is some of those guys are going to become lawyers, doctors, professionals, not rugby players. Where here at Griquas, these guys chose rugby as a career, so they're professional and they get paid to perform. So there's a lot more pressure on the professional guys to deliver W's for the sponsors, for the spectators, for each other. Where at schoolboy level, there's a lot more of love for the school, playing for the bats and just enjoying it.
Ja, die manne wat die touwtjies vandag moet trek, die gesoute generaal George Whitehead, en dan En dan die bloedjong, maar verskriklik opwindende Caleb Abrams. En miskien heel moontlik vandag 'n geleentheid vir Caleb Abrams om werklik vir Suid-Afrika te sê, hier's ek's terug in my tuisdorp en goeie nuus, ek het 2 jaar by die Griekwas geteken.
Ek dink ons is baie bly om vir Caleb te hê. Ek dink Caleb is 'n talentvolle speler. Ek dink hy het al in 'n paar wedstryde by die hierdie jaar gespeel het. Ek meen hy het onmiddellik in die Currie-beker vir ons begin speel. Maar dis asof hy 'n natuurlike talent het deurgekom. Hy het nie nodig gehad om sy voete te vind. Die van dag 1 af het hy goeie rugby vir ons gespeel. En ek dink die kombinasie tussen hom, die jeug aan sy kant, en die experience, die ervaring van George aan die ander kant, maak dat daai kombinasie dalk reg is. En ek dink dis waar belangrik is om die regte tye en die regte moments te kies, wat ek dink belangrik is. So ons is baie opgewonde om hierdie kombinasie te kry en ons hoop dat 'n ou soos George nog vir ons 'n jaar of 2 kan speel. Ek meen hy's vir ons skatbare waarde vir ons as span, maar so ook al die ander spelers rondom hom. Ek meen ons agterste 3, almal praat van hulle, maar ons praat nie van ons midfield nie, die ouens wat die harde werk doen. Ons losvoorspelers wat harde werk insit. Ek dink ons het regtig hard gewerk om ons pak voorspelers bietjie meer te confrontational te sien en ek dink dit werk vir ons. Die kombinasie en die brand wat ons speel werk vir die profiel van die span.
Ek dink is veilig om te sê dat 3/4 van Suid-Afrika se rugby-ondersteuners vanmiddag nie op die Griekwas nie, maar vir die Griekwas gaan skree in die Currie-beker eindstryd van 2025. President, sterkte. Ek weet dit is vir die Unie 'n enorme geleentheid en ek hoop persoonlik dit is vanmiddag julle beurt.
Nee, baie dankie, ons waardeer. Ek dink soos ek sê, ons verstaan ons rol binne SA Rugby. Ons wil nog steeds 'n rolspeler bly. En dit is vir ons belangrik dat ons die Noord-Kaap in die provinsie verteenwoordig soos dit en waar anders as om dit op Ellis Park te doen. So sterkte aan my mede-president Neville Jardine by die Leeu's. Maar ons sal vanmiddag mekaar die stryd aan sê 3 uur, net skuins na 3 wanneer die wedstryd afkom.
Nou goed gemanierd, maar natuurlik hoop president Engelbrecht hy drink uit die Currie-beker vanmiddag.
Baie dankie.
Baie dankie.
Hello guys, I'm Chinedu Amadia and I'm here with
Anton Hood.
Anton Hood.
Yeah.
It's very nice to meet you, sir. And
Cool, man.
so I just wanted to ask, how are you feeling for today?
Well, it's going to be a nice game. It's nice pressure around here. Obviously, I think the Lions will pull this one. But don't throw away the Quasta.
And if I could ask, if there was any player that you could, trade places with, who would it be?
At this moment, current team, before teams.
Current Lions player.
Current Lions team, well, I was a fly-off in the centre, so I'll maybe say Chris Smith out. I'll go in.
Good choice. And then one more question is, if your team wins today, what will you be doing to celebrate?
Drinking. What do we always do? We drink.
Fair enough, sir. Anyways,
Good, man.
thanks, sir. Thank you
Thanks,
so much.
man.
Hello, everyone. It's Chinedu Amadi and Linda Lani here. And who are you here with today?
Adam Franken.
It's nice to meet you. Just a few questions. What's your score predictions for the final today?
I think 45-17 to the Lions.
I'm thinking Lions will take it with 38-20.
I feel like Lions will maybe go like a 42-21.
Yeah, Griquas are going to take it 30-25, yes.
Oh, I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be about 27-23, something like that.
Hello, you're back within the line. Who am I here with today?
Reginald Vidboy, all the way from Kimberley.
Okay, so what are your score predictions for today, sir?
Well, I'm very bad in score prediction, but I hope that the Griquas will take this one because they last won the Currie Cup 55 years ago. And just to be in this final is really a milestone to see where the boys, where they were and where they are today. But we are ready to face the mighty Lions today here at Ellis Park.
What would it mean for the Griquas to win today for you? Because it's been a very long time since they've won the Currie Cup final before. So what would it mean to you?
I think it will mean the world to them because they've been working very, very hard, and I think they really deserve this win.
Okay. And also, who's your favorite player from the Griquas? And why? Why?
Because it's my son! Yahoo! Go Griquas!
Bottles disappeared. Profits vanished.
It wasn't theft.
Our biggest customer became our biggest problem.
I wouldn't call it a problem. He just likes to gooi a few with the boys.
The guys in the first team used to call him Camille.
Because he was so tall.
No, not Camille Per, Camille. He used to drink 200 liters of water in 3 minutes after practice, like a bloody camel.
Is this true, Jebben?
Yeah, most of that is true. I am thirsty.
In a world where every second counts, will he make it on time? Out here on the streets, anything can happen when the odds are stacked against you. One man finds the will, the drive, the passion to steer his path to destiny. It's a Swift.
Welcome back to Rugby on 2 and 6, brought to you by Thirsty. All we have left to do in today's show, we've named our Ultimate 15. It's been to the Currie Cup final. We just have to do the impossible truth, and I am heavily suspicious that it's going to be laden with Currie Cup information. I'm sitting at 11 out of 22, so that's 50%.
Cooks, I've got a question before we start, and it's been on my mind for a few weeks. So let's say you were playing this game and you were currently hovering around 50%. Would you sort of announce it every time?
No, I wouldn't.
I mean,
he gets back like 60 on.
Yeah, once he gets over 60, I'll be very happy if he goes, I am currently on. But I mean, I cringe for him every time he goes, because he puts it out there.
That's the sort of character we get taught at Rondebosch, is that you accept you accept the good times and the bad times. If you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two imposters just the same.
Yeah,
exactly.
Look, I don't think the poem was written about you and your rugby knowledge, but as long as that makes you tick, I'm happy.
Okay. Who's going first?
Okay, I'll lead the charge.
Yep.
Obviously, Currie Cup final.
Yep.
George Whitehead, the hero.
Mhm.
He's played over 50 caps for 2 sides in his career: the Griquas and the Eastern Province Kings.
Okay.
I'm gonna stick to that Currie Cup theme. And last year, 2024, a player that played in the Currie Cup final this year was the Griquas Player of the Year, Cameron Hufke. The fullback that started in the triumphant 2025 Currie Cup final, was the Griquas Player of the Year in 2024. His nickname, Cam Dog Hufke.
That has given me quite a bit to think about. I
remember being at that awards, Cooksy, and he actually won himself a Suzuki. For a year, the Griquas Player of the Year, Cam Hufke.
So I'm just trying to make sure I don't know anything, because what I keep doing is I actually know something and then I don't use what I know. But I really don't think I know.
You don't know a lot. See, you're 11 from 22. So when you know something, go for it.
Would I? EP Kings, Families in Bloom. Although you chase wherever the contract is, I guess. Oh no, guys. I am going to say that Sput is true.
Oh, we got him again. Sputu. We got him again.
How many shows do we have left for the year?
I have dropped under 50% for the first time.
Yeah, so that's my question. How many
For
shows
the
do we have
first
remaining
time.
in season one?
About 8 or so.
So how many have we done?
32.
So South Africa, that's the story then. Alex White has lasted 32 episodes on Rugby on 216.
Just happy to get him again.
The applications are now open for a presenter, and it will need to be filled before next week.
Just excited to get you. So George Whitehead did play for the Epic Kings, and I was in the academy when I was in the main side, or Georgie. Yeah, so I spent some time around him in the training.
When you got your Curry Cup cap.
Georgie wasn't playing that game, no.
Okay.
He was in the round with the same. We were in the squad at the same time, so yeah, Georgie was there.
And if you wanted to know,
used to wear grey college cap when he had a school every day of practice, and was hanging on by a thread at the stage, and he stopped it for. Eventually, the cap gave way. Eventually.
You know, just an interesting side note, Cooksey, on Georgie, but you'll know that, having spent some time with him. He played 3 years of first-side cricket as well at Grey College in Bloemfontein. Very good wicket-keeper batter. Gave the ball a good whack. That's where I actually first met Georgie, was when he was playing a bit of cricket.
Yep.
And then, just for interest sake for you, the Griquas Player of the Year last year was on the field. Yesterday it wasn't Cam Dog-Hofke, it was Dylan Mart. The winger.
Yes, and I even knew that.
And a very inspirational story in his own right. Got on a bus from the Boerland a few years ago, literally, to join the Griquas, and
it's
hasn't looked back.
And what a dream it's been since then. I realized I knew two things. I knew that, and I also knew that you played for EP Kings, and I could have thought, oh, well, maybe then actually you do know. So what a disappointing way to end the show. But hopefully most of the anger is going to be directed in Spud and Cooks in the coming week, because they're the ones who mostly picked our 15 of the year. So enjoy the week, guys. Maybe get out of the country.
Can we just
lie low?
Can we just make it abundantly clear that most of that picking was done by Cooksey? You saw that he was sort of leading the charge there, and even told me before the show that there's no way that he's picking Gert Kemp or Josh Neal in his starting lineup.
No, throw me under the bus now for no reason.
Next week from an undisclosed location.
And also, sorry, lastly, a few weeks back when he was at the Grey College Manaon, he promised them 6 players in the starting lineup, in the top 15. So it
Look
didn't
out
go well.
on social media for our number 16 to 23, because of course squads these days aren't just 1 to 15. We've picked our best player per position, but we're going to have a 16 to 23 on social media as well, at SuperSport Schools on Instagram. We'll see you next week for the Rugby on 216 Awards, brought to you by Thirsty. But that's all we have time for on today's episode. Bye-bye.